ठीक है?
ठीक है, एकदम. चलो start, shoot.
Okay. Hi, I'm Swati. I am working with Maati for past 7 years. I'm the co-founder, and this is a good, fine, fun-loving space that I'm in right now in my life. Before this, I was working with the company for a good 8 to 9 years, and though it was fun, but I'm so glad I'm doing what I'm doing now.
Hi, I'm Aniruddha. I earlier used to work with the event management agency, and then one of my traveling trips I came across a village where I came across artists who had immense talent, and then we started this journey called Maati. When we started this, we had no intention or any direction on where we were headed.
What is Maati? What does Maati mean?
Maati is earth, the mother earth. The name actually came in a dream. And it connects with the thing that most of our artists are from rural India, from villages where they have very limited opportunities but brilliant talent. The first artist we started with was Chanchal Mitra. Chanchal used to work at a tire shop. So one of my trips, when I came across him, he was scribbling on some paper at a tea stall. Now I corrected some perspectives and all that, and he was very impressed. Oh, he's an artist, he's going to teach me. I was like, all right. So after 2 days, I was about to leave, and he was very depressed. So he said, what's the point of learning so many beautiful things, so many beautiful experiences which I had in these last 2 days when I'm going to go back to the tire shop. This is going to be over. So typical Delhi style, I was like, hey, don't worry, I'm going to take care of your life. So I called up Swati. I said, can you send me some t-shirts, blank t-shirts? We're going to start something with hand-painted t-shirts. She was quite used to me being so freaky, coming up random. So she was like, all right, this is going to last a week, 10 days, so let me send it across. So we went to the closest town from Navadip and picked up the courier, and then we started. Krishnanagar we went to, and then we started that thing. After 1 week, when we came back to Delhi and we started retailing the t-shirts, first day we sold 2 t-shirts, and we were like so excited.
Yeah.
We were like so excited. 2 t-shirts we sold. So I called up Chanchal and said, listen, get serious about this. We have a thing over here. Now every day you have to paint and you have to improve your skills. He says, okay, Dada, can you come back here, improve the things which we have, how to make it thinner and how to make it finer. I'm not understanding the shading bit. So I planned a trip after 1 month. I was very surprised when I went there, because there were 19 people wanting to give trials over there. Some were rickshaw pullers who had come from distances which were 4.5 hours one way. There were boatmen who had stationed themselves at the ghat to give for 3 nights so that they could give a trial.
Fishermen and their boats were there.
Everybody was there. The story was, this boy in 2 days of painting had sold 2 t-shirts and had earned 1,500 rupees. And his salary at that point of time was 1,800 rupees a month. And he used to start at 7 in the morning, get a couple of breaks, and which used to last till 8:30, 9 in the night.
So what did you think when your husband came back and said, sent t-shirts, and how did this entire thing evolve? And then you finally, you both quit your jobs.
Aniruddha actually is very quick with getting ideas. So he would get the ideas, he would action them off, and and not knowing how it would end. But yes, the good thing is that we could start doing something. So initial t-shirts with Chanchal, the first 2 t-shirts sold, then as he went back. But in the while that he was doing all of this, I wasn't really serious also. I was like, okay, this is one of his new ideas that he's running on in his head, and let us see what happens to it. But yes, when he went back to the village, and when those boat of people was there who thought that their life could become different and there was something happening, then was the first serious change happened, I think, in both of us, where we thought, okay, now this isn't so much of hope has been generated in people. And maybe we are looking at it I was looking at it very lightly, that okay, one experiment with one boy, but there was so much of hope and anticipation in people where they did not have opportunities and they thought that, this is a way where they can improve their lives. It was an entire life. So at that point in time, the question came that, is it just a t-shirt, or it's those people who are having a thought of their entire future in front of them, and can we do something about it? And that was, I think, the first time when we thought of our careers and what we are doing, and introspection within ourselves. And I think had he not traveled and had he not gone to so many places and met people personally, and those one-to-one experiences, maybe we would have never realized that we would want to do something more about it.
So what made you then really, I mean, it's one step, doing this beside your regular work, but you both quit your job and you were very optimistic, right?
We were optimistic, plus the other thing was that when you have such an experience, you find a different meaning to life. This thing that we were doing suddenly didn't make sense. It just didn't make sense. It's very difficult to explain why. I mean, obviously we had a very cushy lifestyle, we had no problems in terms of monies, and we were successful.
I think it's more of a career success, which was both of us were doing good in our lives. So we always thought that whatever we do will be good only.
Yeah.
We never we could never foresee that there would be a problem time or it would be a challenge. Things were
that we were getting into something so difficult, but that is the strength which we have, the strength of ignorance. When you don't know what's going to happen, that actually propels you into a lot of interesting things. And we would have never ever known that someday we could become the only brand of hand painted t-shirts worldwide. We are supposed to be the only brand which does these hand painted t-shirts in sizes, and in 6 years I don't think we've had a single complaint.
That's true. We have very happy customers. We have people who love our product, and as you say that only brand of hand painted t-shirts, I also look at it in a way that maybe we have been able to create a new source of employment.
New art, completely.
Something which wasn't there, something which was never conceived as how I can earn my living out of it. So maybe out of nowhere there is a new way to generate money for a lot of people.
From rural India, and they don't have to leave their houses. They can be at home. They can be working on it. Their talent is improving day by day. They're getting skill training programs. Every month the kind of monies that they are generating is growing day by day, and the kind of future that this thing has is unlimited. I mean, we started with hand painted t-shirts because it was a fast moving utility thing. Then we moved into wallets, clutch bags, photo frames, and someday for all you know, it could be anything and everything, from buses to Lamborghinis to buildings to anything.
To buildings, yes.
We could be painting anything that is right in front of us. You remember Kanhaiya ji the first time he came to the studio?
Yeah. Kanhaiya ji used to... Kanhaiya ji had this story about he used to paint movie posters before digitization, and now every poster is from a print, and he is without a source to make money and how to feed his family.
Gradually technology is taking over, and so all the people who have the skill, to work with their hands, create that creative thing completely unique and different, they were kind of getting phased out day by day. I mean, Kanhaiya ji's example is something which I have told a lot of people about. Like, from there he moved on to painting on these t-shirts, and now the brilliant clutches that he's doing. Even if he dedicates, he trains another 10 people under him, they would still have enough work
Yeah. They
Then
would.
Chanchal's story.
For that matter, even Sutupa's story. Sutupa is staying at her own house in her place in Uluberia, and she can look after her children. She can look after her mother-in-law who's ailing. Unfortunately, her husband is not is handicapped, so so she can stay in her house. She is a source of income for her family. At the same time, she can look after the needs of her house and have a balanced life.
Tell me any artist who hasn't had enough work. If you had 100 more artists, how would you be able to give them work?
I think yes, we have so many opportunities which our artists can capture and they can move on from there. Of course, yes.
And the lesser skilled artists, for example, you remember Farida ji, how she used to wash utensils in the villages,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
using the steel wool
screen-
scrubber,
Yeah, the steel. Yeah.
she started painting on t-shirts.
We've had interesting stories. We have had people who have not known how to paint, who have never seen a brush or a paint before, and they have come with just the willingness to do something, and have
That reminds me of Mithilesh when she first time came and told me, "Sir, I know how to paint. मैंने brush किया है." How? That was, she used to be a makeup artist.
makeup artist.
Only claim to fame using the brush.
Yeah. But yes, everybody has been able to develop the
Yes.
skill, and I think it is amazing how the willingness to work and that intention has created such beautiful artists out of regular people.
Kanta
like
ji
us.
started at the age of 51.
55. Kanta ji
55,
is
are you
55.
serious?
Yes.
She started painting just 4 months back, and
Yeah.
she started at the age of 55.
Fine.
How has all this changed your life?
We have lesser money to party with, but yes,
Yeah.
life is good. Life is fulfilling. You feel that there is a purpose to work. Everything that we are doing, every design has a different beauty. It has a story of the artist, kind of a touch of his background, how, from where he's coming from, what he has seen his entire life. So like every t-shirt, every graphic, everything that we are doing has now a very compelling, fulfilling story. Rather than something which is a graphic, it's on a t-shirt, 30
I
seconds.
think there is a warmth in working with Maati. There is so much of warmth with each product because it is getting created and somebody is working on it for 8 hours, 4 hours, 20 hours.
1.5 days.
So there is a person there in that product, and when you look at it, you sense that, you sense there is life in it. It is alive. It isn't flat. So there's a lot of warmth, a lot of passion. There's a lot of joy in creating and being in that space.
I know the place where your store is, Hauz Khas Village, is the Quartier Chic
Yeah.
in Delhi, so to speak. And now we're sitting here in an area
Shahpur Jat village.
which looks completely different, at least this part of the road.
Yeah.
The story is village to village actually. We never ever, after the first 6 months, since this is a new art form, a new product which nobody's tried doing anything, we had no plan or anything to achieve. We had no idea where it would be headed. We were just floating in with the enthusiasm of the artist. So what happened was everything kind of came in. We were retailing through a store in Hauz Khas Village, and then suddenly they shut down. And the day we were standing there and thinking what to do,
Yeah.
there's this gentleman who came and said, "You are looking for a store, why don't you take this one?"
Yes.
And
An excellent location.
excellent location. And the day we took that store, immediately some 10-15 restaurants started coming in within that month, and then Hauz Khas Village started growing like crazy. We never ever thought it would
What
become
Hauz
something
Khas
that
Village is now, I think 2.5 years, 3 years that we have seen it. What Hauz Khas Village is now and what it was 3 years back was very different. It is it is much more peppier, though it had a old world charm
to it.
then, which we really miss, which was just really beautiful. Now it's full of the eateries, and I think all the creativity is going in eateries now in the village.
It's an interesting place, and
yeah,
people are coming in to see all that is interesting. And whenever people come in, they expect something very different. And even when we started our studio, we again wanted to create a studio in a village in Delhi. So we thought first name that came to our mind was Shahpur Jat village. Again, accidentally that thing also happened. I instead of taking a right turn, took a left turn, and I parked my vehicle without knowing where I was headed. And then I saw a poster. I called up that guy. He said, "Yeah, I have a studio available." One day we had the studio in place. Sometimes it seems kind of eerie. As a matter of fact, are we the guys who are actually making things happen, or are we just part of a plan? And things are happening, and we're supposed to take the wrong turns and maybe stand at the right place at the right time, and someone would ask us a question and which we would just go ahead and say yes.